All right. Good morning to my wonderful audience. Today it's another interesting topic which I will be covering in the next 7 to 10 minutes. It won't take long. I intend to make my videos as short as possible. And the essence of today's own conversation is around a very popular scam that has just taken place a few days ago. Interestingly, this project gained a lot of tractions on BBC, on Business Insider. Of course, CNN later reports the news, but before that time, it had gained a lot of traction because it was doing over 1,000% at the time when it was reported. But at the end of the day, it happens to be a scam based on the recent report. If you're watching my screen right now, probably you should be seeing that. I would use this opportunity to just say to everyone, there are ways to which you can spot this scam even before it happened. A lot of time people ask me, Lucky, how do you spot a project that will likely be a scam? It's very easy. Most times there are indicators right from the project itself, which you would have seen yourself. So let's quickly take, for example, what happened in this case of Squid Game. So welcome to my channel. You can use the opportunity to also subscribe if this kind of information is something that interests you. All right. And so Squid Game coin happens to be a scam. But before that, how did this all start? There's a popular movie called Squid Game. It's a popular South Korean movie that has gained traction all over the world. As at last month, which is the month of October, they have over 111 million viewers, as I've reported on CNN, I think. And Squid Game is simply nothing but a children's game played common in South Korea, where children are allowed to play some game based on certain rules among themselves, and the loser gets eliminated. But in this case, for the children, it's not like totally eliminated, like dying. It's rather you get evicted from the game, sort of. All right. So, but in this case, Squid Game, the movie, happens to be an interesting one where people really die with all sense. And the people who come to play these games were selected by some random means, but not necessarily random means, true means that had shown they all had some financial debt. And of course, they're as good as dying in the context of the producer. All right. So, but now, due to this popularity of this movie, people decide to capitalize on it, or let me say developers decide to capitalize on it, and they had created a game in respect to the movie per se. Now, what really happened? So people were allowed to come around, play the game. There is a new aspect of the industry right now that is very popular, which is GameFi. So GameFi is another new angle that is developing within the blockchain space. DeFi became very popular last year. GameFi is gaining a lot of traction this year in 2021. And of course, SocialFi, which I will be discussing on my channel. But people came around, they were playing this game, and in GameFi, people are allowed to do what they call play to earn. So your kids can as well play video game and earn real life money. No longer the case where they just earn some sort of game that look like childish stuff. And that was exactly what Squid Coin had decided to do. But what would we have done if we had wanted to spot it? This is what would have happened. But for quickly, let me show you what had happened. The producer of the developer of the project had decided to allow people buy into the project, and then he exited with everybody's money, and that was it. Let me just quickly play video. So actually, in this video, okay. You can quickly watch this video. So around this video, if you look at this chart, it was showing how the market had pumped so high and the next thing dropped. It was so crazy. Even the guy who had recorded this, I think on Twitch, he couldn't believe his eyes. At the time, it was worth over, according to him, he said it was around $2.1 trillion dollars market cap, according to the total amount of Squid in circulation at that time, based on the current price. That's how they calculate it. But unfortunately, it wasn't the case. It was a case of some sort of rug pull. The guy decided to exit with the entire thing. And the first thing you would note is this. How would we have spotted the Squid Game coin? So let's quickly just dive into it. I just listed some 5 points or 6 points, and we'll just do justice to that quickly right now. We could have spotted the scam before it happened. The first thing is Squid Game coin told all its users that you're allowed to buy the coin, but you can't sell the coin. So when you make me buy a coin that I can't sell, it's as good as telling me that I'm trapped. So whenever you try any project in future, maybe not the case of Squid Coin, maybe Squid Coin might come back, I don't know. But whenever you try the case of any other kind of digital currency project or blockchain project out there, they don't give you room to do what you want to do with your token. It becomes a concern for me, and that's a red flag. So Squid Game Coin had told its users that um, simply real monies can go into the cryptocurrencies, but there's no evidence that you can take it out. So meaning you can actually buy, but you can't sell. So if I buy and I can't sell, what's the essence of me buying in the first place? After all, people are not buying it because for the fun of it. They're buying it because they actually want to make real money. So that was the first thing. How would you see a project that has told you clearly that in the first place and you decide to go buy? So it was a case of scam that was coming on looming in the first place. Unfortunately, people didn't probably spot that, or people didn't take note of that caution. The second part is the website was available in a domain name called squidgame.cash. Of course, it was registered October 12th. Today is November 2nd. All right. And technically, it was just barely registered about 2 weeks before the game was even launched. There's nothing really wrong with someone launching or registering a new website and then launching a project afterwards. But it might also be a concern, especially when the project requires some certain process before achieving a certain thing. For example, most blockchain projects is required to go through auditing. Auditing is not something you just come wake up and write your code and you do once like that. It also requires some other kind of community building and all those kind of stuff. So it becomes a bit of concern when projects have achieved all of these like sharp, 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 sharp in one go. But there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not really saying this as a concern, but I just decided to add it because at the end of the day, what happened with Squid, probably this would have helped. But being too fast in terms of how you launch might not necessarily be a challenge if you ask me, so long as all the parameters that require the project to be active have been built, especially in the case of smart contract, the editing, and all those kind of stuff. This was how the logo looked like. In case you're just joining my channel, we're discussing around the Squid Game Coin scam, which had taken place, and the founder decided to exit and had run away with the monies of users. People are now crying. The coin had gone very high, over 1,000% from when it was launched, and now it's gone back to zero. So it's just so painful that people have lost money in it, and hence the reason for me even making the video in the first place. People lost a lot of money in this, and I think the founder had exited with over $2.1 million. This was what it was looking like. And if you remember the movie, that's for those of you that have watched it, this was the logo of what the complimentary card for those who were all invited into the Squid Game house. This was what the logo looked like. So exactly, it was so beautiful and everything. Like they really built the website so nicely looking. You could see the logo of CoinMarketCap. You could see all the various things on the headers that was looking a bit very clean and cool. And there were some things they had used around Elon Musk. If you look at my desktop right now, you should see the picture of Elon Musk somewhere at the bottom corner. They had used the picture of Elon Musk saying that Elon Musk had promoted the project. Meanwhile, everybody know Elon Musk, of course, is now the richest man on planet Earth with close to $300 billion worth, based on the last I checked. All right. There's no way the world richest man will promote your project and you don't expect it to blow, in the words of Nigerian people. Okay, so but the truth is that Elon Musk actually never promoted it. Elon Musk was even making reference to the movie, and this guy decided to capitalize that since the movie is called Squid Game and they are called Squid Game Coin, so people just abuse that. So you also need to be careful. There is no way a billionaire or the world richest man will promote a project and you will not see the project here. You will not see content or information from the official handle of this person stating that he or she is promoting that. So even there's nothing wrong with the billionaire promoting a project, honestly, but when you cannot find any evidence showing that he's actually doing so, or you're finding an evidence that you can't clearly read between the line to know the difference. In this case, he was talking about Squid Game, the movie, and not Squid Game Coin. There was a variance between the coin and the game. All right. Again, another thing that would have probably seen to support it is that it was filled with poor grammatical error. Those people who happened to have looked through the site before it was later shut down or no longer accessible, they were complaining that it had some bizarre spelling error. While I'm not really more of the school of thought around English as being that if I didn't speak it well, it means I'm not as good as my product. I don't necessarily want to judge anybody for having poor grammatical structures in their website, all right, especially when it's not mandatory that the world needs to survive on just speaking English alone, right? So I can decide to overlook this, but of course, looking back now in hindsight, it might probably would have helped one or two persons for saying a project in this magnitude where Elon Musk, as they allege, um, is promoting it, probably should have some nice set of people in the project that should probably structure their English properly. Maybe this would have helped. And of course, was one of the clear example in the structures where they had made some errors in the bizarre poor grammar is that they had said something on. There is no longer dystopian world where a mysterious organization gather people who are in large amounts of debt and living on the edge. Of course, people really said dystopian indeed. In this case, I think they are the one. All right. So the fifth thing we'll just cover quickly is that the Telegram channel was set up, but however, it wasn't open to comment. So how do you create a project where people can come in, participate in the project, and I can communicate in the community where this project is? It's like saying you build a product and your customers cannot reach you. Your customers can't complain, they can't talk to you, they can't give you feedback. There's no way I would have gone into that kind of project if I cannot be able to assess the admins and customer support and all those kind of stuff. So it was actually a very big red flag. There's no way you would have seen this and then put your money in it. All right. People also said even their Twitter accounts makes it impossible for regular people to reply. Oh, of course, this is so bad. There's no way you would want to build a project in this time and age of ours now that you will not want people to communicate with you. Of course, it doesn't matter. Even though people can choose to be anonymous in a project, there is to still have ways to which people can be able to reach them honestly. And then the website for Squid Game Crypto even includes fake endorsements. I think I've talked about this. So you can see that in summary, let me just summarize and then let go. I think I even crossed my 10 minutes marker I promised earlier. Sorry about that. All right. In summary, you see that we probably anybody who's vigilant enough would have avoided this scam. So it's so unfortunate that people lost huge amounts of money in this scam as a result of just the flair or the buzzword around the trending movie right now. Can you imagine people losing money just because the name of a movie is trending, and therefore somebody built a project that is sharing almost similar name to a movie? That was how people lost money. Quite unfortunate. If they had paid attention clearly, they would have seen that this was a scam in the first place. All right. First, they told people that when you buy the coin, you can't actually be able to sell it. How do I buy a coin and I can't sell it? That's impossible. That's the first red flag. The second one is that they built a website, a project whose website was just barely bought on October 12th, and before October 30th, project had already gained over 2,000%, just like that. Like, while I might not necessarily want to fault them for having used the website or domain name that's just newly registered, but looking at back in hindsight, I expect that certain things should have been put in place for a project of that magnitude, especially smart contract auditing, writing the codes, doing all those kind of stuff. There is no way you would have achieved that under that short span of time without raising red flags, but it's not impossible actually. The third thing, like I said in summary, is that they had used the name of the world richest man, Elon Musk in this case, and no evidence to show that Elon Musk actually had endorsed it. Rather, they gave a tweet, they linked a tweet of Elon Musk where he was talking about the movie Squid Game and not Squid Game Coin. So people should be careful. A comma, a dot could be the most deciding factor in a statement, and it's very possible that you should always watch out for that kind of stuff. And then, of course, lastly, people complain around not being able to access them on their own social handle, which, like, even comments from people like from Gizmodo, because actually I got a lot of my content from Gizmodo, so credit goes back to Gizmodo, a platform for this actually. And websites have tried, a certain news platform have tried to even reach them on their very official email address. It's not reachable. So this is crazy. Maybe I might also do something in helping to trace or track this, whoever that is behind this project, because there was one loophole I think we found. I think he has set up some sort of an NFT marketplace in an open sea where people could be able to trade, probably with the aid of his wallet. Maybe we can be able to track or follow up things around what the guy is doing. Maybe I might do that in a video. I'm not promising, maybe. All right. I also do crypto forensic once in a while when I do have the time. So sometimes I think this is also another opportunity for me to tell my audience, if you feel you've lost money as a result of scam in cryptocurrency, scam not from the context of where somebody had scam not from the context of where you deliberately have decided to give you away your money, but scam from the context of where somebody hacked your account without your consent, scam where somebody decided to move away with your money after having paid them for a particular service and they never rendered it, and you probably want to find out the identity of the person behind it or where your money have ended. I can also help in that by just doing some investigation. I'm a certified crypto forensic analyst or certified cryptocurrency investigator, CCI, all right? I could help to do that. So maybe we can also do that for these guys, well, just for the sake of our audience, being able to monitor and track, especially if any member of our audience are part of the victims for this. And to that regard, I would say thank you all for watching. And that's just a quick one for me in terms of what had really transpired from Squid Game. Thank you.